And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and non-gendered Pokemon. This is the semifinals edition of the Pokerus podcast, which again I guess is the name that we've decided to go with. So it is what it is. This is your commissioner, Wildcard, joined by coach of the Mighty Psyducks, Gilbert.
What's up, my people? How are we doing today?
He's a bit sad. He's not in the semifinals. Actually, he
No,
wasn't
I'm
even in
not.
the playoffs. He was.
That hurts, man. That hurts. That hurts. Why gotta be emotional for?
No, but he gave it his all. He gave it a good run. I mean, he played extremely well. The playing games were a joy, and lots of fun. I mean, best of ones, right? I mean, who whatever happens, happens.
Oh, those were so tough. They had my number all season long.
He
And of
did,
course,
huh? Of all people, of all people, yeah. So, so they ended up qualifying for the actual playoffs. And so, speaking of the actual playoffs, quick little recap for those of you just kind of not in the dark, or you just want to hear about, again, what happened. If you're a narcissist like that. We had, which one was our very first? I don't know the order that they're playing now. Just so Zacchaeus beats Vios 2-0, wins the wins the doubles match because he decided to have a doubles primary format. Didn't matter. He won the doubles. He won the singles. It's pretty not straightforward, but I felt like he was in command most of the time. Well played by Zacchaeus. Also, and I know I messaged all the players that ended up getting eliminated. Well played by Vios. He was able to make the playoffs this season. Won his playing game. That's kind of a tough consolation prize, though, right? To have to play Zacchaeus with that team. And Zacchaeus took care of business and moves on to the semifinals. And the other game, I think the most entertaining one that we had this weekend was Madrid Mankeys versus Galloping Garchomps. That one went to game 3 with, I don't remember the order that was, I think it was, I'm pretty sure Madrid Mankeys won singles, Garchomps won doubles, and then Madrid Mankeys won singles. Man, those games were good. There were some really good games in there. I'm talking about some 1-0s. Really close games. Again, congrats to Galloping Garchomps, who was able to make it this time very convincingly as well. Went on a great run. I know it's a little unfortunate that it ended up for him there. Majority Mankeys moves on. And then in the other one, we had Piranha Plant. We had Washington Walreins versus Bay Area Basket Legion, as Gilbert mentioned earlier, the guy that had his number. This one was probably I don't even want to say the biggest route. Now, I'm not sick. Okay, just clear my throat. Now, remember the last time or whenever it was a couple weeks ago when I was recording one of these, I was like, oh, let me go on this rant because, I was sick or whatever. But you know what, guys? I don't think it has anything to do with me being sick. I think I just normally rant. So it's rant time. Okay, it's rant. Next season, I'm going to have like sounders like rant time. And I'll have something that like pops up on the screen for you guys. We'll try and be a little bit more legit. Okay. Now, I don't know. Everybody has their own way to play, or everybody has, I don't know. Okay. I will say this. The fact that Bay Area Basket Legion forfeited with 5 Pokemon left, I believe it was, and then in the doubles, he quit that match as well very early. Like, this is the playoffs. Like, what do you do? Like, just play it out. You never know. Like, we're already, like, game 1, I remember even watching Zacchaeus' stream, because even Zacchaeus was a little kind of, I don't know if he was confused, or it's kind of like, okay, well, maybe he doesn't want to reveal a set or reveal I don't know what the hell you'd be running in the singles that you're also running in doubles, especially if it comes to like items or I don't know. Okay. That's, to me, doesn't seem like good team building. I don't think that was the case, but it's also like, okay, so to me, that was very questionable. It's like, I mean, even if you're going to get swept, just get swept. You just never know, something could miss. I mean, it's Pokemon, right? These are the playoffs. And then it's game 2. And like 1 or 2 of your mons gets knocked out, and then you end the game. Like, oh, GG, I can't win. I don't know what. And it's like, what? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. What's your opinion on that, Gilbert?
I was not the most happy to see that because I insist where I was playing Josh Johnson's, I believe. He had me 6 Pokemon to 3. I came back and won. Like, there's still avenues to win a game. No matter if you're down or not, like I think even in my playing game, I was down 3 months to 6. I came back and won. Most of the mons were had a little bit of damage on them, but I still came back and won. Like, Pokemon's a game of strategy and how you play it. There's always possibilities of crit here and there to win the game. And, something might get frozen, something might get burned randomly. Like, it's Pokemon. Like,
Right.
I'm not saying you're not always about luck, but something might go your way that could change the whole game.
Yeah, or you might think of a player, you might find yourself right in a situation that could. And then the other thing too is just the logistic of like, man, somebody else is already like Zakai's, right? Zakai's was there streaming the game, like I think overall that video is probably like 10 minutes long, like for both games. Like, I don't know. Like I said, I don't want to apologize. Like I said, and Aragon, it was really good having him in. I did speak with him as far as like, thanks for playing, and we're gonna, we'll hear again actually from all these players. A little bearing the lead here. We did ask all the players, or most of the players, and most of them responded what their thoughts were of the semifinals, and we're gonna get on that topic in a bit. And he gave me a really good detailed insight, and I love that. Maybe he just wasn't feeling it that day. But I'm just saying,
that's crazy to think though, because Aragon was a really good player. He beat Washington Walreins in the last week. That's what I don't realize and I don't understand on that one. Like, I don't know if he didn't bring his A game or not, or what's going on. But he's that kind of player that he should have played it out. I don't know, guys. Please play your games unless you're completely, it's still 6-1. Like, I know you forfeit for there, but play your games out, guys. Like. Unless
especially if it's the very last, like, why would you ever exit out? Like, just play it until your mom gets knocked out. Especially if it's your tournament life's at stake. Just play. What do you get? Like, you literally go from 0.0001% chance to win to actually 0 once you concede. I don't know. I guess that's my thing. I guess because I'm somebody who like it's just you play until. I don't know. So that's the only, like I said, that's kind of our first tangent of the day, our first of many. All right. So first one, something that I saw, it's something that it stuck with me. It stuck in my, what do you Southern people say? It's stuck in my craw a little bit. Yeah, no, quite honestly, it wasn't too much of a good look. I think kind of looking back on it now, I think maybe even he wishes maybe he had that back. Yeah, so they move on. I say they, because I'm assuming Faye is also helping them. So they move on to the semifinals, and like I said, we'll kind of get on those matchups here in a little bit, but before then, we have some other stuff we have to. So one of the main subjects, right, Gilbert, you and I talked about a little bit off air. One of the main subjects that's gathering steam. It's gathering steam in the community. Well, in our little draft league is the conversation of Mega Evolution. Mega Evolution. So for those who don't know, we have a group of players that are trying to make it work, right? They are posting what would be what tier, or how would the rules even go. We've had people chip in, we'll force them to mega evolve on the first turn, and this and the that's and the now. You heard me go on a long rant, right, Gilbert? You heard me go on a long rant before we even started recording. Okay, you and I have already been talking for like 40 minutes before we recorded this. I went on a long rant. Like I said, I'm not going to say that exact rant on here, because I'm a little bit more buttoned up here, I guess. Like I said, because I have to kind of have the role of commissioner when I'm on here, so I need to stay more in line, right? I got to stay more neutral, more distant to criticism, as far as unless it's just something that I think, like I said, like how we had that last subject, I just didn't think that was just kind of proper etiquette, I guess.
It's not possible, guys. It is completely not possible.
No, we're gonna have the conversation on why. So you tell me what's your thought when you're seeing it, and what is
I understand people. It's probably my favorite quote unquote little gimmick that Pokemon brought.
It's overrated.
It was probably my favorite. People think it's overrated. It was my favorite gimmick.
No, people do not think it's overrated. Everybody loves it. Everybody loves it. I don't know. I think it. I don't know. It's not bad, So again, here I am over here. It's not bad. I don't hate it, but it's like I told you, right? I was like, if they announced that they were bringing them to Gen 9, like I wouldn't. And oh my god, and just typing on my keyboard, like it wouldn't change my day. It wouldn't get the heart racing. It wouldn't do anything for me. I'd be like, oh, okay. Like it wouldn't be like, oh, I'm gonna go buy 5 of every copy now, or I'm gonna buy both copies of what's Scarlet and Violet, right? Like it wouldn't it wouldn't move the needle for me either way, right? But it also wouldn't make me like go cancel the game or whatever the hell. I don't know. I don't know. I just
It's not feasible, guys. I know. Trust me. I would love to play a draft league or with megas. It's the power gap is just too much. I know other people talked about and in the general chat about why megas are okay and megas should be brought. And they talked about or in the WBA they brought megas. That's a little bit different, guys. We don't have other megas and we don't want to bring on the megas because the power gap is just too much. Like these mons got a significant boost. It's way too hard to justify each individual one, like classify them like in tiers, because each mega is not built the same. So like how we had a problem with this season, we have 2 mons that are going to be banned. We'll be talking about probably later in a later podcast video. But 2 mons this season are going to get banned no matter what. And that's the thing about the megas. Like there's going to be a point where you're going to have like let's say Mega Lucario. He'll never be in a draft league, but Mega Lucario and let's say Mega Slowbro. Those are 2 different mons, but the power gap is just so vast between them. Those 2 S tiers are not built the same. The megas are not built the same. You can't. There's no way to balance that out in a draft league, or we try to limit those kind of mons. Like we have some mons in here that are not. We don't bring in the mons certain ones for that very reason. As you see, we don't have the full Pokédex on here of Gen 8. Just for the simple fact it's too much power. Like we try to balance out this draft league where everybody has a fair and equal opportunity when they draft a team. No matter if you're drafting first overall or 32nd overall. Each mon has we try to do it our best. We're not perfect at it. We try to balance them out properly. All S tiers we feel like they're almost all the same. Probably 1 or 2 of them probably are a little bit better than some of the other S tiers, but man, all S tiers are really, really good. All A tiers are really, really good. All B tiers are really, really good. All C tiers are all really, really good. But we all try to balance each mon out. And I think we did a really, really good job this season about it. And that's something you just can't do in megas. And they don't have doubles for megas, let's be honest. We can't go back to the older gen because we have assault vest, we have heavy duty boots, we have these great items that we'll be limiting ourselves that we won't be getting. The mechanic of speed would be reversed back, and that's not the best. We're trying to make the draft league as best as possible. And not having an opportunity to show that is we don't think it's the best for the draft league. Because the megas are a cool gimmick. Go play national decks. Go play on Gen 7. Guys, if y'all want to do that, go play with the megas back then. Enjoy it. But for the draft league, guys, we won't. Because at the end of the day, we're trying to make the draft league most fair as possible for each player from 1 to 16 that they can build the best team possible. And the megas are just too powerful from each individual one that's not possible at all. It's just not.
Yeah, I was gonna add in there. I think just it comes down to one word. It just comes down to balance. That's really more of how Gilbert said. I'm not I'm not keen on bouncing back to Gen 7 after we just came from Gen 7. So if you're telling me, oh, we're gonna shift back a generation just so we can play with megas, like I said, for me, what do we need the megas? Like what is the draft league missing that the megas provide that we need to jump back a generation? Because if that was the case, why didn't we just stay in Gen 7 then this season without megas? We jumped to Gen 8 because there's going to be a new influx of Pokemon as well. And, right, we wanted to have the new mechanics. We wanted to have teleport do its thing, regardless of how OP it is. But we wanted, right, the speed, the weather, all these interactions, because we wanted to be ready for when Gen 9 came out. And players can, because how many times did players put at the beginning of the season, oh, there's so many moves I know about. Oh, this I didn't know about. Oh, this ability. So, like, even players were able to learn, certain players were able to learn stuff this season. And let's assume, however the hell, I don't know, there's a link to, I don't know, whatever the hell, to Showdown, to fucking Cerebi, I don't know, whatever the hell, all this crap that, let's log into this or use this link or use that so we can, look, all I'm saying is we already ran 5 seasons, okay, again, next tangent, you ever knows where I'm gonna go with it, okay, I'm just gonna, okay, we've ran 5 seasons, okay, guys, look, let me put it like this, okay. Like I said, there's a lot of you're on the sidelines. I'm sorry, guys. So I don't get to play with you guys. I don't get the action. So we're completing 5 seasons, and I think they've all, in their own taste, in their own way, have been either mildly successful to very successful to very good. Like, our players have had a good time. Okay. If you have played other leagues or you're in other leagues or interested in joining, hey, go ahead. You know what I mean? It's not like we've signed anything that you guys got to stay here, right? It's not like we're offering a prize pool for you guys to play. Like, you know what I mean? It ain't. So, hey, it is what it is. As long as you're here and you can just give us your best when it is time to play, that's all I can ask for. I mean, I mean, everybody has their own life. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't want this however our league runs to be compared with other leagues or compared to how your fucking uncles, grandmas, I don't know what the hell's league over there ran it. That's cool. That's awesome. Okay. I don't care. I'm just gonna put it like that. I really don't care. I have a group of guys, right? Whether it be with Gilbert or Zacchaeus or even Chino had input for us as well, that when we want to, however we want to work the league, we want to make sure it's equal for everybody. We want to make sure it has balance. Do we succeed in that all the time? No. Melmetal will tell you right away. No, it doesn't. Okay. But we do our best. So me personally, that's awesome, right? If there's another league or if there's something like, or you don't want to join the league because whatever, then that's fine. We just try and offer a place for players to have a community, have a chance to, I mean, even like I mentioned many times this season, right? Chat was lit. You guys are talking. You guys were in there. Like, it was really cool. Like, from something that, I mean, you guys know, I barely know how to use the Google spreadsheet, right? I can make minimalistic little charts for you guys, and it's just more about the Pokemon battling. I could care less about how the Discord looks or if I get Nitro boosted to I don't know what, and I've got a whatever the hell bot to look. I don't care. All right, I'm not. I've mentioned this, guys. I've got a family. I've got stuff, other stuff as well to do. I don't. As long as you guys can get on here and know who you got to battle, know what you got to do, and let your battle do the talking for it, which there were a lot of good battles this season. That's all I care about. And about it, it just moves on to the next week and the next week. I don't care what the hell, and this had this looks nice, and this looks like this, and this like, that's awesome, man. I mean, you know what I mean? But don't come promoting something else over here. That's just out of the way, okay? Because that was something that did pop up a couple weeks ago. But my whole thing is balance, guys. I don't know what Megas brings. I don't know why you guys are going so crazy. Now, if it's something that the entire league wants, then hey, I'm not going to do it. But you guys let me know what 16 megas are equal in power so that they can be brought. I damn sure ain't going to do it. And you let me know how that would work, okay? But I'll tell you, I could care so little about the idea that I'm not even going to bother trying to make it work because our leagues so far have been successful and have worked. So you're talking about shifting. I mean, you're talking about literally about adding a whole different tier out of something. Like, we've literally had these tiers. I could give a crap less about points and caps and I don't know, whatever the hell. That's why there's different varieties of leagues, because there's different varieties of people. There are leagues that is just little cup. There are leagues that are points. There are leagues that are tiers. There are leagues that do have megas. There are leagues that whatever the hell that are purely doubles, purely singles, purely. We have our own, and it's a mixed league of singles and doubles, and I mean, and that's what it is. Nobody's forcing anybody to play here. And if you do play here, I would like to think it's because you do enjoy playing here. So, again, another long tangent. Believe it or not, that's actually the spiced down version than the original take I had. Okay. I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting old. I don't know. I don't see the attraction there. And it's more of the worry. I consider it the pay, like, the ability to balance the task of balancing it seems so great compared, and so for those who don't know, like Gilbert knows, so I trade like in the stock market and well, it's not even the stock. I hate saying that, but I tend to trade right with how can I put it? I tend to trade with like patterns and kind of risk management and using numbers and kind of the ratios and all that's not important. So just like anything, and even when I play Pokemon, maybe that's why. And I tend to look at it as a factor of like, like let's say I was going to enter like a trade in something, right? It would be, what's the risk that I'm having to give up for this pattern? And then what would be the potential reward? And over the long term or over a series of numbers, could that even out or whatever? Like, so I'm not going to bore you guys with it. Those of you want to know, I mean, you can literally look at my YouTube channel. There's a reason it's called Wildcard Trades, and there are actually other videos where I've been off from my actual day job, and I'll post videos here and there. That's regardless. So I also look at it as like, okay, what's the risk? What's the task of having to balance 16 megas, and what's the payoff? What's the payoff from just having an S tier? I don't know. I'll let you guys answer that question. Those of you that do listen. On to the next subject, Gilbert. I don't know. What is there anything you wanted to bring up? What was anything that you wanted to chop it up here on this? We'll call it the 420 Blaziken session.
The 420 Blades, guys, just that. I'm gonna piggyback off what you said. I understand people do talk about the other draft leagues in our general chat. Hey guys, that is like Wild said. That is cool. That is very very cool. That there's other leagues like that, like us, and go for it, go play it. But please don't bring in our chat. Our chat is for our players, not for other players to hear about your other chat and talk about your other chat and our chat.
Yeah,
That's
just like I wouldn't want, right? I wouldn't want Zacchaeus going to somebody else's, right, draft league and then talking about ours. Like, it would seem, right, it would seem just kind of, it seems lame, I'll be honest with you. Just pretty, like,
that's like going to a streamer chat. Let's just say, like, everybody knows him, Dr. Disrespect, and say, well, Tim the 10 Man's doing this. Well, he doesn't care because he is doing what he does.
oh, is he? What's he doing right now? Hold on, let me check.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like Dr. Disrespect does his thing his own way. They play the two same games. They both play Call of Duty, but Dr. Disrespect does it his way, with his flair, with his charisma. Then another streamer will like
right, different style, right? And if you like, right, and they have different styles, they have different, right, the way their kind of demeanor is or their attitude is. And I mean, that's the beauty of things, right? It's not like we all like the same thing. Otherwise, the world would be boring if everybody thought the same way and liked the same things. And so everybody has their own preferences. It's just, I guess my way of saying it is like, look, it's gonna be really hard. Bottom line, what I'm trying to say is, it's gonna be really hard to have megas, and I'm kind of sorry at that point. All I can say is sorry for the inconvenience.
Because we are getting ready for next
hope you stay with us and at least watch the league. I guess I'll put it like that. I hope you at least watch us, because I guess if it's that important to you, you likely won't be joining us, But gladly, I think everybody got their games done this season for the most part. Like I said, there's one or two players that didn't, but anybody else that did, I mean, that is the ticket. By completing all your games, you do get an automatic invite. So you do basically get to hold a spot for next season if that's what you want. Of course, I'll get with everybody and discuss that. You know what I mean?
Like we understand everybody's season is very busy. Like I said, I didn't enter season 4 because my girls were barely coming along. My wife was very pregnant. I didn't have much time. I'll be honest. So I told myself I couldn't give my full effort this season. Like I said, me and Wall were just watching from a distance until Ninjas dropped out. I took over. Right?
No, it was the what do you call them? You call them the
bro, I forgot what
the Shinjas. Don't you call them? Shinja. I don't know what the hell you're calling them.
but I had a little bit more time, so I was able to prep for my opponents, able to have a good time. Like I said, I love Draft League. It's something that we've been doing for a year now. I love Draft League. I'm ready for Scarlet and Violet to find a meta game, so the champions can sit down, and some of the players that are very involved, we can sit down and build the tier list from scratch. Yeah. I am ready for that.
And speaking also real quick of Scarlet and Violet. So so one thing that you and I had said, right, Gilbert, since 2 months ago or whatever, that we wanted to try and give VGC a little run, right? Just even that format in general, kind of, now I did say I was going to try and scope it out for a month or so, see like how terrestrializing played, see if it was something I was interested in, but more than likely was leaning to go ahead and, try it, dip my foot in there. And then, Zacchaeus had posted about it. I told him that we were interested in. We do have a side little Discord with Zacchaeus, and let me check who's in it. So it's
me.
Damn, it's the who's who. No, not really. It's right. It's Gilbert, Oxa, Chino, Colzac, Zacchaeus, and myself. And so it's I guess Zacchaeus, I'm giving you a little shout out there on the Discord. So also anybody that maybe it would be nice, right? Then it'll be for like play testing and different things like that. I know Gilbert and I are going to have our own stuff that we'll be working on, and maybe we can bring those ideas to these guys. But so I guess, I just heard you talk about Scarlet and Violet. So just saying that's also what's going on there.
We will be doing a season with Scarlet and Violet. We're just have to let I know you asked that question last time, and we're going to play it once more. We have to let the meta game sit and get it to a good point where it's monitor moon around where we know where, hey, and always we don't always base off of oh you and all that, but we can have a better understanding of
Yeah, and
why.
plus we need to make sure, right? Has anything gotten banned by that
Yep.
time, or is anything already being tested, or right?
Like
Is
Dynamo.
terrestrializing even going to stick around? Is
Exactly.
like we have to know. So again, it's another thing. If that's a huge bummer or a deal breaker for you coming into next season, again, hey, hope you at least stick around and be a spectator. That's fine. You know what I mean? Like, but no, and now I understand how Gilbert said, like, we already answered that in the last podcast we did 2 weeks ago, but just kind of want to remind players, just in case. I don't want anybody thinking they're sticking around, so that, oh, okay, cool. So I'm sure, again, from what I've heard, right, there's going to be other leagues. I don't know where, but I'm sure there's other leagues that do season 9 stuff and do whatever. It would be really cool. It's not gonna happen, but it would be really cool, right, to have one of these leagues that was like on the Switch itself, but right, short of everybody getting an Elgato or
Verse Seeker's
the
back.
the not the Verse Seeker, the battle recorder,
The
right?
battery
So the
recorder.
battle recorder
Yeah.
could work, right? The old battle recorder that the old, I think Black and White may have been the last one that had it. I know for sure Platinum and them had it, but
It was and
no, Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire had it.
Yep,
Yeah.
bro. And it
And
was
so at
like
least if that existed, you can actually send that video to like one of your friends on the street code, and then if that person had an Elgato, you just basically play that match, and then you're just recording it. Whoever has the Elgato on the computer, and like there would actually be a way that it would work. And now then again, it would come down to like, well, how are you gonna be? How you would still have to gen your Pokemon in. I mean, even the people that played it professionally, right? You and I have talked about this. Even the people that play Pokemon, so like your A drives, your people that did all these draft leagues, right? When they did it on their DS or their Switches, we all know this. Like now A drive, I think when he did a Sword and Shield one, all his Pokemon were legit because he was gonna do right. He was gonna actually do VGC, so he wanted everything to be on there legit. But but then again, it's not like other people bred those Pokemon for him. It's not like he caught everything. Even he said like, yeah, so and so made this whatever for him, right? This Dreepy or this whatever for him, and then
I believe we did that, didn't we? We tried doing that for BDSP.
Well, we were gonna do it, and then we found out, oh well, how would we record it anyways, right? And then it was like also like, yeah, like then we figured, well, we would want to bring a different variant, right? You're not always want to bring the same Weavile or the same like. Then how would you do that, right? Then you'd have to. You had to gen the Pokemon in. There's really no other possible way. I mean, you couldn't get that done in time. I mean, if these full-time PokeTubers, right, didn't do it legitimately, people like us that have actual jobs in school and all this other stuff and play multiple games a week, not just the one that they play a week. So now there's going to be different scenarios, a little peek behind the curtain as well for things that are on the docket for possibly next season as far as things to discuss. This is very, very, very early stage, guys. This is like when you look at the egg and it says something like, I don't know, what's one of the early stages, like there's no sounds or nothing can be heard inside. It doesn't seem to be hatching soon or something like that. Okay, that's where we're at. That's where the egg is at right now. Okay. Some of the things, I mean, like I told Gilbert, man, now this also, so the way this stuff usually works is we have an idea, and I'm not going to lie, 90% of it is I have an idea, okay? I usually try and think, there's a lot of ideas, and just like anybody that knows that comes up with stuff or creates stuff, usually you have like 100 ideas, and then only 2 of them are ever good, so I don't want to make it seem like I have, like, everything is gold, right? So some of the ideas for me that I've kind of refined or filtered would be a longer season, but less games in each season. Possibly then, right, a point system, but it would still have to be based off of tiers, but that would still also be very weird. And then it would also be like, well, there would have to be, right, some type of like salary cap, like you have to bring, like there's a cap at a certain amount of points that you can bring. I don't know, because then if you do a point system, you kind of kill the whole tier system, and it doesn't allow lower tiered Pokemon to really be used. But that's not what I'm trying to mention here. What was the other thing that I had mentioned? I can't remember what else I mentioned as far as, but there's a couple things that we're thinking of, tweaking with the league. Of course, usually what that happens, I usually get with like maybe Zacchaeus or Chino, then obviously Gilbert, and the way this stuff usually works, or even like Zacchaeus when he's the one who pitched the postseason draft. And so we'll pitch a draft or we'll pitch an idea rather, and it'll be like kind of unrefined, and then we'll try and balance it out, see how it would work if it was balanced. Do we still like it? Is it a good idea? Whatever. And then we pitch it to the general. We pitch it to the players, and if a majority of the players, or especially the really kind of so like for example, right, your players like your Oxas, then your Rickies, your players that have kind of this Kolzak, right? These players that have been with us for multiple seasons, they tend to have a little bit more weight because I kind of trust that, oh, they're going to be back next season as well, and I know they'll trust them, rather than, let's say, a brand new player, no offense, but like a brand new player that I don't even know if they'll be back next season or if they'll want to or if they'll, you know what I mean? So their opinion will still be considered. It just won't have as much weight as some of these kind of the OG guys that have been, but... So that's kind of, just a little sneak peek. That's just a little. This is very early stages stuff of what could happen. Obviously, if you hear this or there's something that maybe you have an idea of, let me know. That's not megas. Let me know. So, Gilbert, I guess before let's head to this next section, right? So we talked about all those playoff games that happen. That leads us to the Phoenix Sun Currents versus Madrid Yankees. Okay, all these times are still TBD. This format is singles, doubles, singles. We have the 1 seed Chino versus the 4 seed Oxa. Man, dude, this is going to be a pretty good matchup as well. And the second semifinals match is going to be Washington Walreins versus Mini Mudkips. And very interestingly, I thought, and Plant had said to me this earlier today, he wants doubles as his primary. So it's doubles, singles, doubles. Very interesting that he chose doubles. I don't know what that's about. I'm very interested to see what he cooked up. I have a very strong feeling there's going to be some weather wars in this one. I'm not going to lie. No disrespect, no offense to the other game. I really, really, really want to see this one. This is the one. I got to see how this plays out. I'm very interested. Like, why would you pick doubles? I don't know. I want there's got to be something schemed up. I want to see what. I think even Zacchaeus was probably as thrown off as I was.
Oh, bro, I am ready to see all these. I'm ready to see these getting played, and we're gonna see what these players are made of. Man,
yeah, big boy semifinal matches, right? Like these are always tough. These are always now. We have been trying to have third place games. Last season we couldn't really get. It's more of like not a gimmicky match, but it's just more of like, hey, it's a consolation, or hey, it's one more chance for you to play. We do like to have it on record at least. So, luckily for these players, this isn't the last match they'll be playing. They'll still have one next week, and preferably before the finals. So preferably on a Thursday or Friday, and a little third place match, right? The loser of each semifinal is just a little victory. Who can take home some type of silverware.
So with Chino versus Oxa, we have seen this battle so many times. I feel this is like Music Kai's, bro. Music Kai's has so many battles that Music Kai's have to play against each other for the previous seasons. And this is like one of them. These guys play quite a bit. And so I'm ready to see this Oxa finally come back and beat Chino and take it.
Yeah, so let me give you a little tell of the tape here. So we have Chino and Oxa, who played last season in the semifinals. Oxa won 2-0. Then for those who don't remember, let's fast forward the tape a little bit, okay? Preseason semifinals, Chino beat Oxa as well. Then we go ahead and fast forward to the regular season, and Chino beats Oxa again twice. So Chino, I believe, by my count, he's something like 5-0 against Oxa. Now, of course, at this time and place, these 2 or possibly 3 games are the only ones that are going to matter in all of that. But you would have to believe that plays some type of psychological effect in Oxa's mind as far as like,
bro,
I'm going to have to beat this guy.
I'm gonna put it like that. That's how my boy Zacchaeus was. Zacchaeus, shout out to you, Zacchaeus. Until he beat me to the finals, I think Zacchaeus did not beat me until the finals. I think I beat him in the finals, and then I beat him in the regular season, and then we had made the finals. I had told him I was 1 game away, but he ended up coming back in the 3-0 sweeping me. But that's how it was. Like,
Yeah, I think you had beat him like 5 out of the first 6 times y'all
Yeah,
played.
bro,
And
I
then
did.
he pulled off 3 straight, which
He
again is
pulled
still
out.
improbable. Yeah.
Yeah, he pulled out this shit. Credits to Zakai's, like that's how it was. So I'm ready. I'm ready to see
Yeah,
Zakai's
can he
ready.
slay, right? Can he slay his bugaboo? That is his hurdle, right? That is his. I mean, you're exactly correct. And real quick, let me check. We're gonna do this math here live. It's somebody who's prepared would have already had this ahead of time, and I think I kind of like guessed it. But we're gonna do the math, okay? So Chino played 16 games last season, right? And he ended up what was the standings? We all played 16 regular season games instead of 18. He played 16 games last season. He won 14 of them, right? Then he swept the playoffs. He went to the semifinals and swept it. So he won 16 out of 18. And then he played yours truly here. And he won 3 out of 5. Okay, I think I've actually beat him the most, technically. I beat him twice. So at that point now, 16 out of 18. So he's won 19 out of 23. And then he won. How many did he end up with? 50? How many points did he end up with? 16. How many points did he end up with this season? Let me see. Then we go to the preseason. He won all 3 of those, right? So that's 22 out of 26.
He dropped one game.
Then he won the playoffs, the semifinals and the finals. So that's 24 of 28. What was his final season standings this season?
17 out of 18.
Jeez, what did I just say he was?
A lot.
23 out of 28 or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
40.
41.
Oh my goodness. He's
41.
He's 40 out of I don't know, 46.
Bro.
And that's where we stand. So, since last season, basically, what we're trying to say, guys, since last season, Chino is a whopping 40-6. Don't know what that percentage is. I'm not even gonna look it up.
High. It's high.
It is high. Like
it is high.
it is pretty insane. So, like, roughly on average, Chino tends to win 7 games for every 1 game he loses. A little under that is kind of his pace. So, yeah. I mean, you guys got your cut out. All the guys in the semis, you got your work cut out for you. Then, in the second battle, we have Piranha Plant playing Zacchaeus 2 versus number 3. Again, right, he win doubles. Very interesting. Another weird thing. So we got Piranha Plant, who's trying to get back to the finals. As far as, remember, he made the preseason finals. He did play Chino. If you remember, again, I'm sure you remember Zacchaeus. I did say, hey, there was going to be a possibly the number 1 and number 2 all season, Plant and Chino. Zacchaeus now has a chance to start etching some of those out, start scratching some of those names out. I think he has a real legitimate chance to do it. And then Zacchaeus, trying to make his record 3rd finals appearance, would lead all players past and present. Trying to make it just with at least getting to the finals for a 3rd time. Obviously, 3 out of 4 years that he's played. Pretty amazing. He would actually kind of hold the distinction of anytime he's made the playoffs, he at least makes the finals. So that would actually be pretty cool to see as well. Washington Walreins trying to become the 2nd player in a row to join a season and that same season make the playoffs. Obviously, Chino was the one who did it last season. So kind of little nuggets, little did you knows in there. Now, we're not going to break the game down for you. Again, that's what I mentioned. Let's see what you're piercing. Let's see. And a lot of these, I kind of like, I know they messaged me, but I haven't fully read it or dissected, and we're about to do it right now. Okay. So, sent it to the players. I'm just going to kind of go in order of the last kind of that I received or how I have it. So, we got Kolzak. So, this is basically what I said. This is what I'll show you guys. I said, I'm sending this to most players. This response will be in this week's video, so please give your predictions and even a small summary as to why or whatever, if you'd like to, whatever. And then I posted, obviously, both semifinals and what do you think about it? So Kolzak, some players kept it short, some players gave me descriptions, some players, we're going to show all of it. Okay, we laughed, we cried, we had a good time. All right, let's go. So Kolzak says Phoenix Sunkerns and Mini Mudkips, and he's put check marks next to both of them. So I think he just picked the winners, didn't tell me why. Maybe he has money on him. I don't know. But he says Phoenix Sunkerns, Mini Mudkips. All right. He's keeping it old school there. So we have Superior here, I guess, for lack of a better term. He said, I think that's final. And again, a lot of these, this is the first time I'm reading them. So here we go. He said, I think the finals will be Madrid Mankeys versus Mini Mudkips. So he's going with
What?
Oxa with the
The
upset.
upset.
Okay.
Okay.
Versus Mini Mudcaps. He says, the reason I think is because Madrid Mankies has proven time and time again he is capable of going to, I guess kind of how he said, like the playoffs, right? Semifinals, finals with the team. I think he's also, I think what he was referring to, right, is the preseason. And he said, and Mini Mudcaps has been to the finals many times, which he has. I mean, again, my little tidbit I mentioned earlier.
Him twice.
Yeah, and then I think he gave a big shout out to you and I, Gilbert. Kind of a shout out to you and I, and he said he hopes he can beat us next season. All right, cool.
Oh, okay. Okay, Superior. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, hey, some dreams are meant to be dreams. But then we got Aragon, right? We got Bay Area Basket Legion. He says Phoenix Sunkers, and his explanation was Chino's played the best all season. Don't see that's, he said, I don't think that'll stop now. And then he says Washington Walreins will win the other one. Melmetal centralizes prep a lot, and Piranha has prepped really well this season. I think Somewhere Phase also saying, yeah, we have. And then Vios has said Phoenix Sunkerns is who he chooses. So he's just gave me his prediction. He says Phoenix Sunkerns and Mini Mudkips. I think we're almost split so far. I mean, I think Phoenix Sunkerns is probably taking about 75% of it. It's, again, like the matchup I said, I was in the Mini Mudkips, Washington Walreins one is the one that seems pretty, the league seems a little split. I asked Tampa Bay Blazekins, Scotto, he just told me Chino's OP, so I guess he just picks Chino for the whole thing. I don't know.
He was in Chino's division, so I feel his pain.
Yeah, Now, Ricky, what's Ricky got, right? Ricky not only is the wild card when you play him, no pun intended as far as me, but he's a wild card in picking picks. I predict Oxa's going to win because he's too unpredictable, and then I'm going to go with Sakai's because he's on a roll, LOL. That's what he put. So, okay. Now, we go to Versier, WikiLeakies as you call him, right? The Wicked Litwicks. This man broke it down for me, and we need to get this man on here, okay? We need to get this person on here. He said, and this is the last one. He said, I like the format he put it in and everything. If I wasn't lazy, I would grab the screenshot and post it on the video so you guys could see it. But I am lazy. He said, Phoenix Sunkerns versus Madrid Mankies. He put, both draft teams are splendidly built. Both have a lot of offense, defense, and support. I do think that Phoenix Sunkerns will pull a victory because of Tragapult, as well as many defensive mons. Madrid Mankies can ignore and need to provide at least one counter for unless they auto-lose to it, such as Toxapex and Skarmory, what he's meaning. Said also the win rate of Phoenix Sunkerns is absolutely high. Wait, hey, shout out. I just, again, point to that stat that I just pointed out earlier. What did I say? It was something 40 out of 46 or something like that. Yeah, okay. 40 out of 46, so he's 40 and 6 all games. And also, I'm in the same division of him, so I'm a little bit biased as well. Okay, cool. And then he said he gives his prediction at the very end. So then he goes to the breakdown of the next game. Gives proper breakdowns. I do like that. It's almost like reading a newspaper or an article. Then he says Washington Walreins versus Mini Mudkips. Just as the pair above, these two are absolute powerhouses in draft leagues. I do agree as well. What I'm mostly afraid of is the chance of weather war happening in doubles and singles. No, don't be afraid. Embrace it, because that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen, all right? It's going to happen. Okay, don't be afraid of it. Embrace it. Embrace the climate change, right? It's happening. So he said happening in doubles and singles with Mini Mudkips coming out on top because of Poliwrath. Yeah, don't sleep on that Poliwrath. It will actually, the Politoad. Yeah, that's a great pickup. Great pickup. Okay. He said as well as overall better sand picks on Mudkips rather than the rain on Washington Walreins, which a little behind the curtain. So Gilbert and I did privately talk about how we thought that would go, and I'm not gonna lie, I kind of did say that, didn't I? I did think that the way that sand team was constructed, because to be fair, Piranha Plant doesn't have a rain team. It's more of a team that diminishes Melmetal's defenses. His team isn't a full rain team. Zacchaeus obviously did go full sand. You should call it like full, instead of full sand, it should be like full sand or full sand, or I don't know, I'll think of a name. Okay, and then he says, if it ends up being weatherless, I do believe it ends up Washington Walreins' favorite. Here's the other thing, too. As I'm reading it, sorry, WikiLeakies, I know I'm kind of ruining your take. That sand also does help that Melmetal. I think either weather helps Melmetal. I'm thinking about it. because that's sad. And you're
bro.
gonna boost the special defense. So I don't know. Have fun with that, guys. So then he said, Weavile and Latius all being able to be brought in the same match in singles. Overall, really intriguing match that I don't want to miss. Again, bro. I mean, this guy, like I said, I swear on everything. I just knew he sent it. I don't read it because I like to read it like this in person. You're with us, WikiLeaks. You are with us, man. You know exactly what we are. That's right. He knows what the vibe is. His predictions. Phoenix, dude, and he even gave me the game, bro. This guy's gonna be our analyst, right? Phoenix Sunkerns versus Madrid Mankeys. He puts 2-0 for Phoenix Sunkerns. Washington Walreins versus Mini Mudkips. 2-1 victory for Washington Walreins.
Oh,
So that was
was
good. I really like this guy's breakdown. I really, real talk verse. I hope you're hearing this, man. I'm not like real talk, dude. I'm if you join, we're gonna need a little bit more of you. I'll put it like that. That was well. Even like I really do. I'd likely this is. It's the well it's formatted is actually well enough that I actually will not be lazy. Hopefully I remember to grab this. I'll screenshot it, kind of grab it so you guys can see it like and read it as I'm putting this part. Usually what I do is I grab everybody's screenshot and as I'm talking, you kind of pop it up. It looks nicer, looks cool, but we're not like that. So yeah. But yeah, what you think about the people's opinion? It appears most people are kind of split. I think Phoenix Sunkerns, we had about 2 people or so pick Madrid Mankeys, so I think everybody else picked Sunkerns, so it was a good, 80%, right? 80% was Phoenix Sunkerns for his game, and then the close one was Washington Walreins and Mudkips, man. I think, I don't know, I really want to say maybe that was 50-50. I think you guys can obviously go back and re-listen to it and kind of know for sure, but I'm just off the top of my head, I'm thinking that one was the one that was more split.
yeah.
Man, dude, that's going to be such a good game. Watch that not even be close, and then it's the other one that nobody's giving proper respect to. I should be Cheeto, and then Oxa just brings something fire because he's got a Sun team. And he's just fire, and ironically, I think people still consider Chino probably the favorite, and he's the only one remaining that doesn't have weather on his team. Go figure. He's the only one that's really rocking terrain, actually using it. I know Zacchaeus, right, has the Feeney, right? Does he still have the Feeney, or did he turn it down?
Lele. He has a
Lele.
Lele. Yeah,
Lele. But you really don't use that, and Chino obviously with the Alolan Raichu, it's pretty cool. It's also cool. So we got 3 weather users and then a terrain user. So,
that just shows you how important it is to build you a good quality team.
Yeah, that there was different routes to go, right? Different routes to go. And Zacchaeus, to be fair, isn't just sand. It also is the trick room aspect, right? He does have the trick room playability.
Yeah, because you gotta think we have all 3. We have the 3 weathers. We don't have hell, but we have rain, we have sun, and we have sand, and all in the semifinals. That's not a coincidence here. Good, like I said, proper built team will get you a far way. Looking at it right now, oof. Okay, so for the first,
good point.
The Sunkerns versus Madrid Mankeys. I'm gonna be honest with you. So do we give our predictions?
You can. You're a former player. I'm the commissioner, so I just watch. Because more than likely I will be streaming both of these matches, so I don't want to kind of skew anything you're seeing biased.
Actually, you're my boy. Remember this. I have played you in the regular season and the semifinals to get to the finals when I got to the finals season 3. But I think Chino just had your number. 2-0 in that aspect. And to my former rivals, Zacchaeus, I have met you in the playoffs and in the semifinals. No, the playoffs and in the regular season. I am going to demand the respect. He said he wants to respect this season, so I am going to give him his respect. I think he'll be in the finals. I have played Washington Walreins. He is a great player, but I think Zacchaeus just brings that uniqueness that you don't see. Because I remember playing Zacchaeus, he brings some weird sets. He brings that out of bounds sets that nobody thinks of, and he wins with them. So I will bring it 2-1 to Zacchaeus. I think the downfall was going double battles. Washington Walreins going doubles. Because I will think that Zacchaeus is going to probably take both doubles. I think he'll take doubles.
I think anybody that would play Zacchaeus probably wouldn't pick doubles.
No, because that Gigalith does so much.
But that's what makes me more interested in what Washington Walreins is going to bring. Like I
Because
said, we I think we all know at this point, right? So obviously Faye helps him. So I wonder, like, what is it that they would be really confident in? Because even if you felt confident in doubles, you can still just choose singles, right? We would assume that team would probably be a lot better in singles as far as the matchup
yeah.
wise. But then, right, you can win either singles knowing that you're gonna lock up quote unquote doubles, right? If you were that confident.
Yeah, because looking at it,
But
with the tip,
I guess maybe it works the other way where it's like maybe they're you know, I mean, and this is the beauty of it. Maybe they're that confident, and I don't know. Maybe they're that confident they'll win in singles that they want two tries to win at doubles. I don't know. But then again, why wouldn't you just have two? I don't know. See, making my head. I don't know. This is why I'm just a commissioner this season. All right.
because the polytoad has 70 speed. Even if you have Iron Body, he's still at 35 speed. The Kai is actually at 25 base speed. So Sand will always get set because he's a slower mon. So Rain wants to get set first, and then Zakai will always bring Gigalith in first. If they both come in at the same time, Sand will always. Well, what I'm trying to say, Sand will always be coming, because the first simple fact is that the Gigalith is a lot slower. So with this Weather War, I think that's where Zakai might have the edge. And he does have that Poliwrath. So at any point,
the only quarter. Let me throw this in. Okay. I don't think Washington. Okay, so what would you need Rain for in this matchup? Like, unless you think Ludicolo's gonna, I guess, you know, if you want Ludicolo or because do you need to cancel out the Sand though? Like, it's gonna help the non-metal.
For Exegil though, you got to think about it, and for Scotland, for Exegil and for Scotland, those are the two mons that do benefit a lot, and so does Gigalith benefit a lot, and so does Swampert on benefits a lot from the Sand. Yeah.
No, I mean, but my whole point is the Rain, for example, really hinders the Caius, where the Sand does not equally really hinder Washington Walraids, is what I'm saying. Like, already the Weather War is already skewed in that favor because the Sand is still going to help Piranha Plant more than the Rain would help Zacchaeus.
Well, no, for the simple fact that
that's what I'm saying. Like it's the like that quote unquote thing. So what you're saying as far as like, and even then, if the Gigalith comes out, if you're smart, you never send out the Polytoad because once Gigalith's out, it's not going to rotate, especially no Oranguru's there. That you're not gonna miss the opportunity to instruct and rock slide or whatever the hell it is that you want to do. So once the Gigalith's out, it's staying out. You know what I mean? And that's where having the Polytoad and setting Rain, now you'll force Zacchaeus' hand of like, okay, I'm not gonna be able to want to do these rock slides, instruct things that I want to do. If I want to reset Sand, I want to have to, you know what I mean? And just the thought of having to withdraw the Gigalith will take away from. I mean, that's why in doubles. I mean, let's not forget what the most powerful strategy is that he's doing. It's the Oranguru instruct with Gigalith. There's no way around it. That's what it is. So by sending out the Polytoad, though, you now ignore. And then how you're saying though, then if you want, right, you can have the Ludicolo. I'm assuming is. I mean, why would you not bring it? It does a lot of work against Zacchaeus' team, but the only thing I do see that is dicey for Zacchaeus, again, trying to keep it neutral, is as far as the weather goes, the rain, obviously, it doesn't do anything for Zacchaeus. It doesn't help him. It doesn't, I guess for the Poliwrath, right? It's a Poliwrath, I'm assuming it has Swift Swim, so the Poliwrath could like it, you know what I mean? And that is one of the ways that, I mean, I think it goes without saying, Zacchaeus is going to bring the Poliwrath. Why would you not bring the Poliwrath?
Well, I brought Seismitoad the same ability, and that's what I mean.
But then you bring that, and you're gonna bring the Stoutland, so now you're gonna have two C tiers, and then like it's one of those things. Like I could very, very easily see Zacchaeus not bringing an S tier in this one. I think there's kind of a couple A tiers that you want to bring. Your B tiers for sure. I mean, for sure you're bringing Oranguru, right? I don't know. Maybe he likes the tank growth, but you might have to bring both C tiers as well.
The good thing about Lele is one thing that the Prime Time does like using that Weavile Ice Shard. Lele does not allow Weavile to get that Ice Shard off, because I know he loves using the Ice Shard for a priority. And with Lele being out there, no priority moves are able to get thrown off. So like the Street Speed Arcanine cannot happen. The Neo King Sucker Punch can't happen. The Weavile's Ice Shard doesn't happen. The Mew's Fake Out doesn't happen. So it does limit Washington Warriors in that aspect that with Lele out on the field, having the second train up, that all those priority moves do not get don't get used. So that might be another part that that's gonna be another aspect of this battle if he decide to bring Lele, and I think Lele does do a little bit of work here with that Moonblast. That Moonblast will do a lot for Lele with 130 special attack. So it's very interesting.
Yeah,
Look at
well, I
that.
mean, but he gets walled completely by the Melmetal is the only issue. Just
This,
completely walled by it.
yeah, well, it's no better. Come on now.
Both
Well,
stabs. Yeah, but both stabs against the steel type. That's not.
uh,
I just still, like I said, if we're going to go back to the point of the weather wars, the weather wars, regardless of what weather is up, it's going to benefit Washington Wall Reigns. I'm not saying it
mm-hmm,
won't benefit Zacchaeus. I'm saying it'll benefit him.
mm-hmm.
Zacchaeus, it's still the same thing. So, I mean, I don't see why you don't bring the Polyrath. I definitely could see that. But then you got to kind of calculate how is Melmetal's Thunder Punch going to hit it, right? Like, could you take, there's going to, like I said, I mean, there's so many ways, even when you look at it. Like, I mean, kind of how you're saying, right? You could end up bringing the Lele then. Obviously, you're going to still have to play around the Melmetal. Like, there's
Oh,
nothing that you see in this matchup that you're like immediately okay, well, this just auto wins. Because Zacchaeus is one of the. He does have enough ground types that could still beat the Melmetal, I guess, is right. And then he does have the rock types that could still beat Zapdos or Weavile or anything that would want to maybe come in. I don't know why Weavile would want to come in, but I'm just giving an example of things that would want to come in because not many people use actual rock types this season. And so I think I'll just put it like I've said. I think if there was somebody who was, I don't think it would be an upset in my opinion if
no,
Zacchaeus beat. I think this is legit, and I think it showed in our kind of the way the players are choosing. I think it is easily the kind of closest one.
yeah. The one thing that delay does get that Nature Madness. I think that Nature Madness is gonna play a bigger part of taking it away Melmetal's health away. So I'm very interested to see what these players do because I'm not in it. Like I said, your boy didn't qualify. Your boy wasn't going to qualify. So very interested to see. So we will leave it there. I will take Zacchaeus 2-1 versus Washington Wall Reigns because Zacchaeus has proven to get to the finals. He finds a way. Uh, yeah, and then I'll leave it like that because we'll probably do a podcast before the finals. So I'll make my prediction from there for the finals.
Yeah, well, there's no point in making the prediction right now because we don't even
Yeah.
know who's in it. So yeah,
Ooh.
yeah, no, it should be a lot of fun. Obviously, Zacchaeus is a really good player as far as playoffs. I mean, he's won the only playoff match 2 out of 3 he's ever lost was the season 2 finals. Other than that, he won his matches to get there. He won obviously all his matches in season 3, and then he didn't qualify last season, and here he is this season, kind of picking up. So, be pretty interesting if he can kind of continue his kind of his series dominance, right? So yeah, so that's kind of our look forward at the semis. Usually, right, we're gonna end it here with some of the questions that you guys have. Not too many this one, but Gilbert, I have a game. I got a game for you, man. I got a game for you that
Yeah, what you got?
Okay. Okay. I don't know. I just randomly thought of it. I don't know. It might actually be a game. So I just thought of it. So the game is right, and maybe you guys can try it with other people as far as if you're in a car or whatever, or you can see how stupid we are. You guys can probably think of something. So you're gonna name a Pokemon, okay? And whatever that Pokemon's name ends up with, the last letter, I have to say a Pokemon with that letter. So, like, if you say Ambipom, I would say Mew. And then you would go, and you would say
Okay.
Whimsicott, right? And then I would say Shangrowth. And then you would, and we would keep going until and you only got it's got to be snap. It's got to be 2 seconds. You got 2 seconds to answer. It's got to be real quick. And you can't name a Pokemon that was already named. And a Pokemon that can't be in that same evolution line. So, if I ever say Charmander, you can never bring up Charizard or Charmeleon at all. So, you got to kind of, be thinking, but you know what I mean? So, and I have to catch you. So, if I say, Apom, and later on you bring up Ambipom, and I don't catch you, well, then that's also on me. You get what I'm saying? So, it's just quick fire, boom, 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 and we'll do a little 2 out of 3. Okay, how about this? We'll do a little 2 out of 3. We'll do the normal wager. All right, I know we usually do it out on the golf course. We're gonna do a normal wager. Whoever loses this owes the other one a drink when we go out on the course. Okay. All right, we got a deal skis there. All right, I'll let you want to start or me?
Okay, let's go Tratar.
No, hold on. So you're starting. Okay, well, no, I'm asking. Do you want to start?
Yeah,
Are you gonna say yes? Okay, well, pick somebody else. And I already had time to think about it. I'll let you start. How are you gonna answer my question by actually going? Just be like, yeah, I'll go.
Tapu Koko.
Tabu Coco, you're cutting out.
Yeah, Tapu Koko.
Okay, well, I'm an Oranguru, I guess. My bad. I'll try.
Or
I'm just gonna say it and then assume because then if I like had to ask you, that's not really fair because then I have time to think about it. So I'll just if I kind of if it didn't sound right, just let me know or whatever. So
so Oranguru, Umbreon.
um. Oh God, I'm already okay. Well, you already won. You got one. All right, double or nothing here. Double or nothing. How could I not think of N? What in the hell, bro? Now hold on. No, go. Ready? Necrozma.
The Crosma?
Nah, hold on. Let's time out. Now, see, that's 2 seconds. Okay, we'll do 3 second. We'll start over. It's a 3 second. You can't repeat because I understand. You know what I mean? So you can't repeat the question because all it's doing, right? You know, it's like one of those things where you say, huh? But you heard them. You're just kind of like trying to process what was said, right? So you can't repeat. You can't repeat like, oh, yeah. No, it's like once you hear it, you got 3 seconds, like up to 3 seconds, boom, and then go. Okay. So I'll go. Gengar. No, you can't see you. Okay, we'll start over. You cannot. You can't repeat it, bro. That's your last warning. All right, you cannot repeat it. All right, ready? Umbreon.
Mew.
Whimsicott.
Conkeldurr.
Reuniclus.
Superior.
Right.
Is it-
Right on.
Ninetales.
What's his name? Skitty.
Giddy, Electrode.
Skitty ends with a Y. What the hell?
Oh,
He ends with?
I was.
He ends with an E. What the hell?
I couldn't think of nothing.
What does start with? I think Y is the hardest. Eveltal is the only one I can think of.
Yeah, Evoltal, yeah. I was like, I just made a flow. I didn't think of nothing.
Shoot. We might have to ban Y. Y might have to be. Y is tough. I think so. Something where to end in Y. Because what else starts with Y? It's Eveltal.
Oh, can I think of Yamega? Yamega was also another one.
Mega, yeah. Well, now we know. All right, I'll let you go first. We're tied 1-1. Nobody owes each other a drink. Go another round. Go. We'll do first to 3. Whoever can win 3 rounds.
Ferrothorn.
Not to.
Not to. Oh, I don't know. I don't got one. I can't think.
You Umbreon. You guys are like Umbreon again. You could.
Oh no! I don't want to use the same one. Not to. Oh my goodness! What?
Yeah, well, like okay, well, not Umbreon then. Who does start with you? Jeez.
I think Urshifu. Nuxie, I can't think of.
Oh, Ursaring.
Oh yeah.
Urshifu. You could have said that's right.
Oh crap! Okay.
All right, so now I'm at 2 points. You're at 1. So one more. You owe me a drink then.
Okay. Bikini.
Incineroar.
Or right on.
Okay, so we're still gonna be okay. So we're still gonna be allowed to. So basically, okay. So basically, we'll do like each new point is a new round then.
Okay.
Right. Okay. So I'll let you go ahead. I'll let you think of so. Since I already had a chance to think about it, so what did I say? It started with an R. So I'll let you pick somebody else that starts with an R. No, like you can take your time. You can take your time.
Registeel.
Luxio.
Luxio. Dude. What starts with the O?
Nah, you already lost. Oranguru. What's the the little bird, right? What's the little dancing birds or Orikio? I don't know what the hell his name is. Damn, what else starts with an O, bro? I don't know what starts with an O.
Onyx. Onyx, of course.
Yeah, Onyx, dude.
Oddish. I can think of the 2 starter Pokemon that you see right off the bat. Onyx.
Yeah, Oddish was the other one. That's true.
I'm more thinking of it like, it's easy. Oh, Onyx and Oddish, like easy. No.
It was like once he's under the gun, that's it. All right, so cool. I just made this game up. Now give me a free Dr. Pepper, Pride of Texas. Dr. Pepper. All right, well, hopefully you guys are probably shouting like, you idiot, there's this one, and I know, all right. I know we're bad at this. All right. So we'll finish this off, guys. We'll go to your questions. Some of them I know were posted a while back. Like I said, we're doing this for the first time in 2 weeks. All right. So we'll start with one that Vile sent. So a lot of these I'm also barely reading for the first time. And some of these I might be reading again. I don't know, but hey, we'll answer them again. So Vile said, pick 2 Pokemon from C and B tier that you would promote. Ooh, pretty interesting. That you would promote. 1 or 2 Pokemon from A tier that you would promote, and 1 Pokemon from S tier that you would demote. This is a really good question.
Okay, C tier wise, it would be Miltank, or Kangaskhan. I think those two are just. Well, I think Kangaskhan with the 3 abilities it has are all good. Miltank is a thick fat, just makes it a really, really good mon. Super bulky. B tier wise will be, of course, Slowbros. The Slowbros and Slow Kings will be the ones we promote. A tier mons that we would probably promote to
Hold
S
on. Well,
tier.
before we move on to that, so let me say my C tier is the Kangaskhan. I can see the argument for. I still don't know about the Miltank. I think Miltank's fine
Okay.
there. I couldn't see it going to B tier. The Kangaskhan, I kind of do agree with you. I do think that it is, you know what I mean? I think you also showed how well, it can really be a force.
Helping Hand, Icy Wind, Low
Oh,
Kick.
yeah.
Yeah.
And there's, you don't have the ghost that can come in to just completely counter
Mm-mm.
it. I think, what would be another C tier then? What is one that I've looked at?
C tier
I
wise,
still think maybe
I think
Arcanine then. I think maybe moving Arcanine back to B. That
uh,
is one other one. I mean, the Intimidate is so strong. Obviously, getting E speed as well. I don't know. I'm really kind of happy with where our C tiers are, so I can't
yeah,
really
yeah,
think of any. The
yeah.
B tiers, I won't say the slow since you already said. Um, I mean, I'd have to look at I don't have my tiers up in front of me. I'm trying to think of what stood out. So to promote.
Probably the Hattering. Probably another one will probably be Hattering. If a Trick Room, it's under Trick Room, it's really, 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 really good for a Trick Room team with 136 special attack and 103 and 95 special defense. Special defense of 103 and defense of 195 for Trick Room. Normal centric team, I think would be perfect for it. Probably that.
Yeah, there's always that. Right, it's like, well, a Pokemon may seem busted, but then maybe the player didn't use it to the full potential. Or then there may also be a Pokemon that maybe isn't as good, but a player kind of really made it really good. And, you also don't want to kind of overreact, right, and bump a Pokemon up that maybe if a different player had it, even in the same tier, it wouldn't do the same type of work, right? So that always is the issue with trying to balance a Pokemon. Usually, as most players tend to see, usually Pokemon that make it to like the finals or win the finals, that's usually where you see the most tier shifts
Mm-hmm.
because at the end of the day, a lot of the times it is like the Pokemon, there usually is, it's because this guy had something that was just too undervalued or too whatever. Obviously, the trainer has a lot to do with it as well. But so it is also hard to say. The reason I say that is because like usually I'll look at all the battles, I'll rewatch all the battles in the off season, really kind of refresh my mind, what stood out, what did definitely seemed broken, things of that nature. And then you got to splash that with the background of, and no offense, but it's like, well, how good is that player? How good has that player been in the past? And so like if it's a really good player and it's making a Pokemon stand out, you got to wonder, okay, well, did that Pokemon stand out because of the player? Or let's say it's a player that's not that good, but yet they have this one, they can just send out this one Pokemon, do this one strategy. Okay, that usually is a red flag. Like, okay, maybe that needs to be, it shouldn't be, Timmy No Thumbs can grab it and just be
So
busted with it.
the only one I can think of like that right now is Kangaskhan. I think the one C tier, because not because I use it, but for his 3 abilities that he has. Let me look him up real quick. His 3 abilities was Early Bird. Like if he's facing somebody like he's Spore, like a Mugashing, anybody like that, he has Early Bird. He has Scrappy for the Ghost Up, his Inner Focus. Well, 90 speed, 90 base speed is great. He also has 95 attack, 105 HP, 80 special defense and defense. Has fake out, has everything like that. So that's the only one I can see. Like, hey, we
Yeah, he's
might.
actually pretty bulky, right? And normal
Yeah.
type, man, as we see with Snorlax, normal types, especially in draft leagues, are actually pretty strong.
So that's like the only one I could think of. But like that's even pushing for Kangaskhan because he's only really good for one thing and one thing only, like for support.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
let's move on to this next part because we're like spending too much time on one part of one question. And 1 and 2 Pokemon from A tier that I'd promote Melmetal, and I would promote him past S tier, and that dude's gone. Um, but realistically from A tier, who would I promote to S tier? Um, like I said again, I don't really know anybody that's I
No,
don't know, Haxorus. Like, I don't really know. I don't know who. There's nobody that I've seen that's A tier. I mean, the Melmetal kind of takes all the coverage. There's nobody that I've seen in A tier that I'm like, this is just kind of outrageously broken.
no,
Needs to
no.
go to
Well,
S.
Haxorus wasn't even drafted, so we can't even say Haxorus since he wasn't even drafted. Nobody decided to pick him up.
No, but to be fair, and I told Gilbert this, I did enjoy that Haxorus tearing up some of you guys. Because if you guys remember, I had that Haxorus in S tier. And at the beginning of the season, I was mocked for it. And people were like, oh, well, the draft looks good, aside from... Yes, that is how you guys sound. It looks good aside from, the Haxorus it has. It should be an A. And yeah, I agree. It should be an A. And all right, moved it to A. Nobody even drafted it either way. Gilbert grabs it, and it, gets on the kill leaderboard. with him missing, 4 games. And it still ended up on that leaderboard. But... And then as S, I don't know. Again, I know Gilbert will probably say the Victini. Maybe move the Victini down from S. Without having the tiers in front of me, I'm not really sure. I don't really... Like I said, there's not too much this season that I've felt. Now, maybe because it's the first one that I didn't play, so I didn't get to experience the trauma firsthand.
Maybe Zorak?
Yeah, I could definitely see Zorak. Maybe Zorak didn't pull out. The illusion didn't see. I think Zorak is probably the other one.
Yeah, I think
those are your...
Yes. I would probably think Zorak. If one has to go down before Victini does, I think it'll be Zorak.
Yeah, so probably Zorak. Good question there. So Kolzak asks, are there any ideas to perhaps involve Ubers in the tiering system at some point? For example, 1 Uber, 1S, 1A, 2B, 1C. Just an example of the team, but you get the idea.
I think no, because it's like how we talked about with Mega Evolutions, kind of like Ubers anyways. No way to balance them.
Yeah. Now, Kolzak, I say this because you've been with us for many seasons. I like to think we have a friendship. I'll let you guys know. I love you guys posting these questions on here. There are no dumb questions. If there was, Kolzak, that was pretty close to one. All right. I'm sorry, man. I gotta be... No, there will be no Ubers, man. There's no way. It's almost exactly how Gilbert said. It would be the equivalent of adding megas in there, and then I do like how he, but in all seriousness though, without the jab, how he said though, one Uber, 1S, one. No, there is no scenario where we would have an Uber and an S tier allowed. Again, we might as well just place some with the ladder and have it just be heavy focused, right? So I kind of think, again, the whole reason we like this draft system is because it allows your Pokemon. Again, look at these players that are winning right now or that are in the semifinals. You tell me how many of them solely rely on their S tier. And that's what does all the way. The only one you could maybe argue would maybe be Chino, right? With the Coco or the Tribe. But even then, if you really saw his team or you studied for it, you would know it's the Snorlax putting it in work, right? Look at Zakai's team. It's his A and his B tiers putting it in work, right? Walreins has his C tiers that put in work. Obviously, Melmetal's A, who should be S, but Melmetal, it's all kind of in that middle chunk, and that's what makes Draft League great. That's why, again, I'm not the biggest fan of let's go top heavy and add megas, or let's add Ubers in, or again, how would you ever balance that, right? How, I mean, I don't know. And then if you say, well, we'll just grab the 16 worst Ubers, then what's the point of even grabbing, why, right? If you're going to grab, what's the whole point of kind of, maybe we somewhat, quote unquote, do, right? We got Necrozma in the format already. We It kind of, what it reminds me? It reminds me I remember watching, I don't know if it was WBE or which one it was, and A-Drive had that Kieran Black, that was just stupidly broken. Even though it was an OU Pokemon, I don't know why they had that thing in their draft league, and that thing tore through everything. And I remember, I would read his comments over and over, bro. Even his own fan, they were ragging on him, dude, this thing is so stupidly broken. In a draft league where you have, right, again, let's not forget, there's limited answers. You have limited answers to stuff. And you're going to throw in something that even when you had full answers to it, it's going to be hard to stop, yet alone limited answers. You tell me how having an Uber, and let's quote-unquote pick crappy Ubers. You tell me having a Ho-Oh, how certain C tiers are ever going to stand up to Ho-Oh. You know what I mean? Choice banded Ho-Oh with whatever the hell. Again, though, but that has actually been done in draft. And I'm not saying they used Ubers, but they had let's say Kieran Black in their format.
I think,
or was it Kieran White? Kieran White, I don't know. Was it Kieran White? Well, one of the Kierans, you know which one. And even then, it's just stupidly broken. And he was catching. Now, granted, he lost in the playoffs to a stall team. I think it was Patters. So I can't remember what his name is, but bro, literally, and even his like I would watch his videos and people were posting on his own things. Oh well, you got so caught up in just I forgot throwing banner. I don't know what the hell. Like he literally, there was a lot of. I mean, you guys go watch it. You guys can see for yourself. There was a lot of
See
backlash
Crystal.
on having that
You,
Pokemon in the
you
league.
see Crystal. I see Crystal. Kiro. Yeah.
Yeah, it just and again, I see that, man. I'd be like, I wouldn't even want to join that. I'd be like, dude, no, that's again, draft league is meant for, I guess, a separate type of audience. It's for a different type of like you want to be able to use some of these Pokemon. And then again, you could probably say, oh, well, then if that's the case, go play, rarely used or go play poorly. Like I don't know, So there's arguments to both sides. But again, I joke with you, Kolzak. Shout out, but you know, no, we wouldn't. We wouldn't. That's never crossed the mind. Axa goes other way around. Is there a chance that this season, or is there a chance of having a season with Little Cup only mons?
No, I don't
No, not a full season. That could be an idea for a preseason type tournament. So instead of random teams, hey, maybe everybody. I don't know if it'd be hard to do a draft for preseason of just Little Cup mons and then do it like so it might be something like, hey, we're just doing I don't know, you know what I mean. That could be an idea. I mean, I would maybe throw that, we can throw that one on the cutting board, kind of on the workbench to discuss this. Maybe if you are listening to this, how would that work? I wouldn't mind doing something like that for preseason. Maybe it's little cup format for preseason, right, to decide draft order. How would that work? Let me know. Or is everybody, are we battling level 5 or whatever? Who knows? I mean, that could be an idea. But a full season, no. Oh, same thing. Maybe even you, Kolzak, like rated your idea. I don't know. Maybe an Ubers type only preseason format as well, where it's a format, and I don't know how we would do it, or I don't know how that work. Like I said, I'll let you mold it. Maybe that's where Ubers would be allowed. We just big old Ubers, whatever the hell, and but it would be preseason only. You know what I mean? And just kind of to help. Just I don't know. Just again, I'm always open to ideas. Okay, let's see. So Verse puts, I feel like this would mean that this should either be a national dex, so it would be without doubles, or an OU, but Pokemon can be picked a limited but multiple amount of times, which would mean a low amount of available Pokemon. So if this little cup league was used sometimes, which one would I pick? Maybe another option. I think, like I said, the little cup would be more of I wouldn't do a full season on it. It would have to either be its own standalone league or like a supplement league, or it would have to be I would not mind doing it for preseason, but I wouldn't have it as the main league, right? That's kind of my idea. Zacchaeus puts, what are your thoughts so far for Scarlet and Violet draft? Have you seen all the confirmed Pokemon yet?
No,
So
I am not.
Yeah, neither have I. Now, this is actually more relevant. So he had posted this question last week. This is actually way more relevant now because I think the games are already leaking or fully leaked. Shout out to people not posting it in here. I haven't. I don't even know what the starters look like. I don't care what they look like. I think the starter Pokemon are always overrated anyways. But I could care less what they look like. So I don't know what any of the Pokemon I haven't. I've seen just whatever's been revealed in official media. Like I know today, right? The two new. I don't know if you know this, Gilbert. So those two new Domfan forms. I think they're Domfan evolutions. There's two forms that were revealed. So he splits off. So it's Donphan and he evolves into two.
So the only thing I've seen on Square is like I know Solomon to get in one game and Transtrike to get in the other, and that's it. Like I usually try to go into a game fresh, no spoilers, no mons. I like to see everything for new experience. Like just play the game, new experience.
Yeah, I think whatever for me, I try and do whatever's in official media. I don't like doing like I used to, right, or the A Drive videos or like Poke Eevee, I think is the other dude. But then I'm not gonna lie, I kind of got bummed out. I got tired of their stupid clickbait titles and their videos, massive, all in capital letters, massive leaks, and it's like, dude, some crap that we've already known for a while. The game has already, but it has been announced, right? Like Austin John, I do watch him a lot, but like the game has actually leaked. The game's already really out, right? And it's not going to be out till next Friday for us normal folks, but obviously other retailers, other people have already got it. Therefore, the game's going to start leaking. But for the first part of your question, again, I think we even brought it up again in this video. Brought it up last time. Scarlet and Violet draft, yes. Very looking forward to having it. I think it's going to be awesome, but no, it's not going to be for this upcoming season. Obviously, this season's going on, season 5. It's not going to be for season 6. Season 6 would be due to take place about 3 weeks after. Um, quick calendar check. So, season 5 is due to end the following weekend that this is being recorded. So, it would end either Saturday or Sunday, the 19th or 20th, respectively. There would be, as normal, the 2 to 3 week break with the draft. These are all rough estimates. Times, a little asterisk there, right? Times are subject to change. But the draft would be about December 10th, that weekend. December 10th, December 11th, and then the season, the first games would be played about the weekend of the weekend before Christmas. So that being said, let's say we do start drafting the 10th or the 11th. All the tiers have to be finalized that week before, because obviously we have to allow players to kind of construct their teams, how they would want to draft them, and so on and so forth. So that means everything would need to be finalized by the 3rd. Reminder, the games come out the 19th. That literally would give a 2-week window for players to not only to discover the tiers, like I would have to still go beat the game, do end game stuff, find out. I mean, whoever would be helping me, Zacchaeus, whoever, everybody have to be rushing through the game. I'll tell you this, I'm not going to rush through the game. I already talked about how I want to do VGC stuff, but again, I'm still giving myself like a month buffer. Want to see how everything plays out. Like, I'm going to fully enjoy the game. I hope you guys as well, anybody, like, that's going to be so cool too. Hopefully, we got players that like, hey, let's do certain raid dens together. Let's try and get certain terra types. Like, actually enjoy it, right? There's multiplayer on this game. Like, I think there's going to be so much to enjoy. So I also don't want to kind of rush that aspect just so I can figure out who's good or who's not or whatever. Like, that already seems like a pain to try and organize brand new Pokemon with new, like, I mean, even look at this, right? We didn't do a perfect job organizing Sword and Shield tiers, and this game's been out for 3 years, right? 3-4 years, however long it was, and we didn't even still organize this together. How are we going to organize tiers for a game that's going to be out for 2 weeks at the time, not knowing what mechanics are even going to stay in, right? And kind
Because
of,
I think Dynamax got banned like a month or two in.
yeah. And so I would hate for us, it's week 3 and you have a certain strategy or however we drafted, and then like, oh, hey, by the way, terrestrializing is now banned. Because this one thing if a Pokemon gets banned, right? So, but like if a whole mechanic gets banned, or who knows, certain items or certain moves or certain combinations of stuff, and that's how you build your team around. Like, we all know the first month is going to be very volatile as far as how Smogon does their thing. So that's the other thing too. I don't want to get caught up in that. I'm not in that much of a hurry to do that type of draft. I don't I understand that people might, and hey, that's something, go for it. So that's kind of my thoughts on it, but I do plan on I mean, it's Season 7 at the minimum. Season 7 will be Scarlet
Quick,
Violet.
quick question: are you gonna go Scarlet or Violet? Which one are you getting? Let me answer that question real quick while we're on that topic.
I really don't know. I'll be honest with you, I'll probably flip a coin. I really don't know. I honestly haven't thought about it. What about you?
Don't know yet. That's I was like, whichever one you're getting, I'm gonna get the opposite one for the Pokemon. So you have exclusives you can trade over. I can have exclusives I can trade over.
Yeah, then I'll have to get with you before I get it. I don't know. I'll probably decide like the morning of or that night before when I start downloading the game. I don't know. I'll probably just flip a coin. I really don't. I don't know. Maybe I need to look at which. Obviously, if somebody like, I'm sure Dratini, I know, like, right, like Bagon and Larvitar are version exclusive, but like if Dratini's on a certain one, then wherever my boy Dratini's at, no one go with that one.
Okay, I like this next question. Let me read it. Okay. It says, Tepe Blaze get W on the answer of the podcast. Of course, thank you. How excited are you for playoffs? I think we already talked about that. This is the one I really want to see from Bios. If you could combine 2 abilities, what would they be? Example, Cat Accelerator has 2 abilities. Abilities not to be mentioned: Arena Tag, Shadow Tag, Arena Trap, Shadow Tag, and Wonder Guard. Ooh. So I would go Infiltrator and Moxie for mine. Infiltrator for your substitutes,
Yeah.
to get those substitutes and all that, and have Moxie. So it'd be like a broken ability, or Mold Breaker Moxie. I think that'd be really, really cool.
Um, let's see. I think
Or have like an electric type having Drizzle and Electric Train. Ooh.
yeah, I
Oh,
was gonna say something like that. I'm trying to think of something that's wouldn't be game breaking, but would still be cool. I'm trying to think of like competitive balance. Then I guess I'm trying to say. I'm trying
oh,
to,
you're,
I'm trying not to think of anything that's like, okay, what's the most broken,
uh,
um,
I have a Pokemon that has Inner Focus and Intimidate together.
inner focus and intimidate.
Inner Focus and Intimidate. He's your Intimidate user, so he's also has Inner Focus where his stats can't get lowered by Intimidate. He cannot get flinched. So he's basically like, really good mon. Probably not the
I
most
guess
powerful.
as far as what I can see Game Freak making, I can see like them making some a Pokemon that has Unnerve and Gluttony. So I know it sounds lame, but I'm saying like I can see that. I could see them like, okay, your opponent can't eat berries, but now you're eating berries earlier. Um, yeah, I don't know. If I had to think of something like, oh, what would I guess I guess let me try and answer it like that. What would I use that would be broken? I guess. I would go. Oh my goodness. Is there what's the ability that? Oh my goodness, or maybe I'm tripping. There's an ability that your moves do more damage, but you also receive more damage.
Solar Power and a
No,
Shift
no,
Force.
you just straight up no. You
Which
you
one?
you receive more damage
You receive more
as
damage.
well. Yeah. You deal more damage, but you also in return you receive it.
Oh, that's the one that Scar Raptor had. Reckless. Reckless was
No, because that's based off the move. No. I'm talking about the actual just any move you do does I don't know something like 20 or 30% more, but in return you do receive more damage as well. In general, like your damage also. I don't know. I'm thinking it's a new ability.
I'm not thinking of Solar Power. I think Solar Power boosts you by one
No,
point.
no, because solar power is just solar power deals damage to you. No, this ability, like your opponent's moves, do more damage to you as well.
Um, I don't think that is one, my dude. I don't think that is one. Yeah, I don't think that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking too hard on this question. I don't know. Like I said, something like that. Then along with like no guard, so that nothing misses or whatever the hell. Um, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I try and look at it from a competitive point of view, just something that would be neat. I'm not trying to do anything busted, I guess. Um, hmm. Or even like in the scene. So like the unnerve with Grimnay, I understand why that works in a doubles format. But it's not extremely broken, right? I guess the Pokemon stats as well help with that. But
Oh no. Oh, but it is because okay, say like a mon has like a Lumberry. Let's say like it was who was
no,
it?
they're good abilities. The issue
Yeah.
is the Pokemon itself is situational. Is the issue
Okay,
because it
right.
just
And
loses to Zacian. Like it
if,
that's the issue.
I'm gonna put it like this. If that I think he was the most dumbest Pokemon to be created. I think he wrote TCG this season. He really did. I hope he's on this next game, even for TCG. For the TCG fans, I'm really hoping he's on this next game. I think he's too overpowered. Yeah, just so stupid. He ruined TCG when they allowed the restrictions. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so Colzak asked, how do y'all feel about playoff teams this season? Who's your well? I mean, he did ask us before the playoffs started, so
Yeah.
to be fair, I'm pretty sure players would have probably picked, or Gilbert and I probably would have picked one of the top four players. But who's the underdog pick? Who's the time pick? I mean, I think there's only the underdog pick. I guess if he qualifies in it, I mean, Zacchaeus, I would guess, and then Titan pick. I mean, in my opinion, there really is only one Titan in there. That'd be Cheeto. Why would you not pick that then? Who do you want to win? I mean, Gilbert, I'll let you answer that then. I can't technically, obviously, that I definitely can't answer that. Who do you want to win?
Oh, I will say that for an upcoming podcast. I will say that for the podcast right before the finals. So I will wait till then. I can't get I can't I gotta see who's there first.
Well, out of these four, because technically he was asking us before the playoffs even started. So I mean, there's four left now. At least you're narrowed it down. You're more likely to be right now. But who are you rooting for? Who do you want to finally get over the hump, or who do you want to
Well,
retain, or who do you want to see? Or
what he asked is I was fighting for my playoff spot. I was fighting for it. So I was gonna say myself, at this point in time, but no. Right now,
well, it's technically no. When we would have posted this one, no, this would have been what's the 31st last week. No, we would have already been done with it because the playing games were on the 30th.
ooh, uh, who would I want to win? I think Chino. I think just Chino. Who do you want to win? I think it'd probably be Chino. Who I want to win would probably be that. Probably Chino because I want to see the champion go back to back. We have never had a champion go back to back, so yeah, I was close. So I want to see. I want to see it finally get done. Put more target on his back. But yeah, so I'll say Chino.
Yeah, I think like I said, I'll go through each one because I think that was pretty easy. That one was pretty easy. That was pretty. Like I said, each player was right. You have Washington Walreins trying to be the first player or the second player, right? To go back to back as far as having a new player enter, win it on their first try, right? You have Zacchaeus, who completely missed the playoffs last season, felt jaded this season. We were talking about the better players, has just kept his head down, done his work, done what he needed to, right? Has an opportunity to now lead the league as well, right? Lead the overall history of going, picking up, having 2 titles and, having the most out of everybody. And then you have Major Mankis, who's trying to even seek, who's, let me forget, like, this guy is always there. He's always in the thick of the playoffs. He's been there time and time again. He's almost how Ricky is, but now at this point, especially if he gets eliminated again, this guy, we always talk about Ricky making it to playoffs. This guy's also done it as well. And he always tends to get overlooked, and maybe it's because he can't get past the semis, and maybe he can. He's going to try and make a run for it. I felt like he's really been quiet this season as far as how he put on the radar. I was like, oh, well, it's because he ended up losing to Chino then. So I think there's a lot of good storylines as far as like what we can pick on who to win, and then obviously Chino's still doing his thing. But I think they all have. I was hoping you would touch on that and say they all have. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of felt your answer was a little weak there, but they all do have their kind of redeeming qualities, right? As far as what each one can bring. I think it was a good group of players, a good group of 4, very strong, very solid, and kind of the storylines are there for each of them, right? Like that's what the beauty of it is. You have, I think for Chino, and like I said, and I enjoy having him. I think the only thing that would make it right, because he's definitely not the underdog tell, right? He's not. I mean, he is. It's almost one of those things where he's won so much, you're kind of wanting to see, not wanting to, but you're kind of looking at it as like, right? That's how everybody's looked at it this season. Let's just call it what it is. Like, well, can this guy beat him, or can this guy improve him? I mean, look at the freaking party everybody threw when Ricky finally beat him, right? Like, so, I wonder at kind of how that focuses as far as like how the players view it as well. I almost wonder at this point if players either fear him or if players are licking their lips of like, I kind of like, I want to be the one. I know that's how I would be. I would be like, if I was in that other semifinals game, I would be looking at it at this point now. Now, last season, I knew what it was. But at this point, like, if I was Walreins or Mudkips, I'd be like, no offense, but I'd be like, I hope Chino wins. Like, I want to be the one that unseated him, right? I want to be the one that, and now that's just me, or you can say, hey, I hope, right, I hope, but your Mankis does dirty work. I hope he can do it, right? I hope we can, so I think there's just a lot of different, right, scenarios and kind of storylines, like, especially with these 4, and I mean, no matter kind of how you look at it, right, you can get different matchups as far as Mudkips versus Mankis. I mean, 2 old school players meeting up, and that has its own storylines. Or Walreins and Chino. I mean, just the 2 heavyweights colliding. Or obviously, the really big one, right, Mudkips and Chino. Like that. I mean, just I'm really excited, and no offense to anybody that didn't make it. I'm really excited with the 4 that got left because I think there's so many storylines, and each kind of player has its own thing. I also think kind of Mini Mudkips is kind of the least, or Madrid Mankeys is kind of the least talked about out of it. But I mean, everybody, I mean, we even said it right. Like I said, I'll drive this point home again. Like everybody always talks about, oh, well, Ricky, and rightly so, right? Rule Ricky always makes the playoffs, and oh, Ricky's trying, he's always there, right? He's the wild card. He's always, but then we forget that Madrid Mankeys for 3 seasons in a row now, he's at least made the semifinals.
Yes.
Like, so it's another guy that's constantly there, and it's almost one of those things like he would also be an underdog. Like you can root for him, like not talked about, not mentioned. Had to grind, maybe because he's the only one that had to grind his victories the first round, so it didn't look as impressive. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? I mean, now don't get me wrong, he's got a huge mountain to climb this weekend. Don't get me wrong. But very, very interesting. I do like seeing all of it. Now, if you ask me who do I think will win, I will always just whoever the defense. I've done it every season, whether it's Gilbert, Zacchaeus, whoever. To be the man, you got to beat the man. So I'm just that to me. That's why, like I said, but I'll be honest. Even me saying that is just an easy answer. But that's the reason I give that answer. I don't say it because I want to I'm actively rooting for him, or I'm actively, not that him and I have any type of rivalry, but if we did, it would stem back to that 5-game series. But it's not like I'm actively waving a flag for him or anything like that. But I mean, if he won it again, he's very. I have no issue with him representing the league and being our champion. Very standout guy, very smart, and so just means I'd have to take it from him next season. That's all it means, But next season. So, no, but in all seriousness, I think that's a good way to wrap it. This is one of our longer ones, and I'll tell you what, next week we're probably going to have the longest one because it'll be the lead up to the final season 5. As we start winding down this season. Thank you to everybody that has listened so far. Had to make this one longer. That's what she said because, like, again, we didn't record it last week. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Gilbert, you got anything else you want to throw out before we leave?
No, just ready to see these playoff games, ready to see these finals, ready to see start the new season. Pretty much, guys.
Yeah. So, well, new season will be in a while. Your boys also got to rest up. But yeah, we'll definitely real eager. So, all right, everybody take care. Just hopefully you guys can root on the players that are in the semifinals this season. Hope everybody has a good rest of your day, afternoon, evening, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.
All right, later, guys.